behind us. But we're really excited about our next guest, the Falcons' all-time leader in passing yards and touchdowns. And his Falcons, the only team to beat the Carolina Panthers this season. We welcome to the desk Matt Ryan, courtesy of Gillette Fusion Pro Shield. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you guys for having me.
We appreciate it. So you went with the Panthers, the pick board. That had to be a little tough for you. How come you think they're going to win it?
Well, yeah, it's definitely tough to pick somebody in division.
Yeah.
But I know, having gone against them twice this year, they're about as complete a football team that I've played against during my career. I mean, they're solid on the defensive side of the ball. They play great offense. They're good on special teams. They don't beat themselves. I just think they're a team that's tough to beat.
From the quarterback position, what has to happen in order to exploit them? I don't know, because we hear about Peyton Manning, the health, even though he's looked decent in the playoffs. You know, can he throw outside the numbers? We're thinking about Josh Norman being on one end, but obviously Charles Tillman is out. Quillen Finnegan, we don't know what he's going to be able to do. How do you beat them from the quarterback spot?
Well, I think, you know, the first time we played them, we got behind so early. And that's what they've been able to do all year. I mean, they've been able to start as fast as anybody in the league. The second time that we played them, we were able to stay in that ball game, and we were able to stay balanced on offense. I think when you go against their defense, if you become one-dimensional, you have no chance. But if you're able to stay balanced, run the ball, match up your play-action passing with your run game, their linebackers are so good at getting downhill and defending the run that you can make some, yards behind them throwing with that play-action pass. I think that's what we did really well the second time we played them. And then you have to make a couple explosive plays throughout the game. We had a long touchdown to Julio that kind of changed the momentum in that game. I think that's the recipe for success.
By the way, I think Peyton Manning has watched him a whole bunch of Matt Ryan tape here, because you did give them the blueprint for how to do this. And I want to go one level deeper here. On third down in that game against Carolina that you won 20-13 in Atlanta, on third down, you went 7 for 9 throwing the football. Now, that's pretty great. That's hard to beat, because it allowed you to control the clock 36 minutes to only 24 for Cam and company. Now, to your point, you only rushed for 77 yards, but you kept trying. 30 times you ran the football, and you were getting less than 3 yards a carry, but you just kept saying, no, let the clock run, and then when it comes to third and long, I'm going to have to find Roddy or Julio or whomever for a gain to keep the football.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we didn't run the ball really well, but we stayed with it. And what that does is it doesn't allow their pass rushers to just pin their ears back and get after you for 60 minutes. And that was huge for us. And then we were really efficient on third down. I think we were 7 and 9 passing the ball. Yep. But we had a third and 14.
9 out of 15 overall, yeah.
We had a third and 14, I think, that went for a 70-yard touchdown play, too. So, I mean, it's one of those things that you have to play great on third down, and it's difficult to do. But you have to continue to run the ball, because their defensive line is too good to match up passing the ball 45, 50 times. So what did you see?
They're mostly zone, I assume that's what you saw mostly. Where did you, without getting too deep into secrets, but what vulnerability did you find in their zone windows?
Well, you know, I feel like the strength of their defense for sure is their front seven. I think they've got 2 of the best linebackers in the game. Their front 4 is about as good as it gets. In the back end, Josh Norman's a great player, but there are some holes to that. You know, they're good players, but that's not the strength of their defense. We always felt like, regardless of whether Josh was out there, we had a guy that it doesn't matter who you line up against. He's an advantage for us. So that was one of the things that we had going for us. Denver's got some talent at the wide receiver position, too, that can go out there and make plays. But that, to me, is the area where if you're going to beat them, you have to get after their secondary in certain spots.
What can Denver's defense do against Cam Newton? You've watched this offense as well.
Cam's a beast. I mean, he really is. He's had an unbelievable year. But I've seen it, you know, since he's been in the league. I mean, their record hasn't been what it was this year, but he's had some great games against us in the past. He's just tough to defend because, you know, when you get to 3rd and 5 and their pass rushers are coming up the field, they can pull a guard and run quarterback power and get 6 yards. They bring all 11 guys, you know, onto the field on offense, and that makes it extremely difficult to defend. What Denver does as well as anybody, though, is force turnovers. They did a great job of that in the AFC Championship game, and certainly if you're going to be successful against Carolina, you've got to try and create some turnovers.
By the way, forgive me for saying this, but I do not appreciate what you did to my Dallas Cowboys in the second half of that game at Jerry World.
I appreciated it very much.
You picked us to pieces. In fact, we were ahead 28-17 thanks to Brandon Whedon in the first half.
The good old
and
days.
This guy went berserk, throwing to Julio in the second. It was like men and boys, candy from babies. I've never seen anything quite like it.
It was we needed more of that this year.
Yes, you
we
did.
couldn't find it for bits of the year, but that was some of the best ball that we played the entire year was
I'd
the
say.
second half of that game. And we got everybody involved. Julio obviously is such a focal point of our offense, but Devontae Freeman, that was a game for him that I felt like really put himself on the map for the year and propelled him to go to the Pro Bowl, and I thought he did a great job all season for us.
What's going on with you guys? I mean, why has Atlanta been struggling? I mean, they've got you got Julio. I don't understand why y'all have struggled over the last couple of years.
Well, I think, particularly this year, I think we were more inconsistent than we've been in the past. I think, we've had 3 years that we haven't been able to get back to the playoffs. And when we were at our best, whether it be 2010, 2012, I felt like we were a very consistent football team from what we were week to week. That same team showed up. And we haven't been that way the last couple of years. I think this year we had opportunities to finish ball games, and we didn't do that. And we kept ourselves in a lot of games, which you need to do in this league, but we didn't finish the way that we needed to at the end for a number of different reasons. But that's what we've got to get back to. We've got to be consistent finishers week in and week out.
Last quick question, quick thought on this. How much has Peyton lost, in your view, at this point in his career?
I don't know. He's got so many different ways to beat you, and that's one of the things that has always been, I think, one of his strengths. He could beat you with his arm, he could beat you with his brain, he could beat you with the run game, getting it going the right way.
I think you're saying he's lost a good bit. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, but I hate saying anything about one of the, the GOATs. He's one of the best of all time, and I think if there's anybody that can pull it out one time and go out there and play, a great game, it's him.
All right.
Matt, I hear you come with gifts.
I got gifts, so I came for Stephen A. and Skip.
You too. Get all the love.
Yeah, so I brought the Gillette Fusion Pro Shield.
I use Gillette.
I need it.
I love it. Nice close
Thank you
shave.
very much.
Keep
But
them
yeah, I brought it
clean.
for you guys. It's going to keep you clean. You guys already look great, but I think this can help. It'll protect and shield your face, which is important.
I need it back. I need it back. I need it back.
You're quite
Thank
the
you very
salesman.
much.
Matt, thank you so much for the
All right.
time. We so
Yeah, thank
appreciate
you,
it.
guys.
Enjoy Super
I
Bowl
appreciate
week.
it. Thank you very
Thank you so